training partners. Here come your training partners. So smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners. We're ready.
Welcome to Training Partners, where two fitness professionals bring you strong takes held loosely. I am Weezy Shoemaker, and as ever, I'm joined by Justin McClintock. And today, we won't be bringing you any strong takes. We'll just be talking at you.
Well, there's no pre-planned strong takes. We can come in with that. This might be the one that gets us canceled. We don't really know.
That's right, because we genuinely have no idea where today's going. I don't have a segment either, so if you don't have a segment, we have no segment. We have nothing to talk about.
No, the whole plan for this was to deliberately kind of break format a little bit and honestly just kind of shoot the shit and catch up and be able to talk about, spend 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there of things that are happening, fitness or not. And maybe it'll be entertaining and fascinating, and maybe people will hate it.
And if you hate it, you can.
Yeah, complain to the podcast bursar. Other podcasts are available. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
You were supposed to finish the sentence with "fuck off."
Oh, I'm sorry. Should we take it again?
Yeah, everybody just pretend that this is where the sentence is really going. If you hate it, you can
fuck right off. And I'm not going to go back and edit any of that.
Perfect. I don't think you should. I think
absolutely not.
I mean, the whole point of this episode and this style that we won't do all the time, but every 6 to 8 as kind of a palate cleanser episode, is we both know that generally speaking, a lot of people just like us.
Yeah.
Like they're not coming to us necessarily because we have some unfindable information that other people don't possess. And some people hate our personality, and that's just fine. There are other coaches and people to listen to for those people. But this is to give the people who want more Justin, more Weeze, what they want.
It's such a hard concept to explain to especially younger coaches or coaches who are struggling, that all of the stuff that people think you need to be a coach or personal trainer, the certifications and the knowledge and the anatomy and the programming stuff, and never mind all that if you want to like do it somewhat or completely on your own, the business stuff and the numbers and the systems and like all of that is really hard and important. And that is the baseline. That is just the cost of entry. And now you have to be great at communicating and charismatic and empathetic and able to connect, or that's how I try and do it. But you have to bring yourself or some whatever your coaching character is to it. And that's how you will actually connect with people, because we don't have a lack of information. Like people can type into Google or ChatGPT or whatever they want. How do I, give me a great squatting program for someone who has bad knees, and it'll say something.
Right.
It may or may not be useful or real these days. There's so much AI slop floating around, but someone feeling like they are listened to because they are, and then having the thing delivered in a way that works for the way they communicate and understand things. That's where like the art comes in, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Yeah. This reminds me of a newer client who is actually a male client. I work mostly with women, but I've got a handful of gentlemen on my roster right now. It's just unusual for
gentlemen, no less.
Gentlemen. Well, loose. I can't say rapscallions.
Sure.
I mean, I can say whatever I want. But newer, a long history with fitness, like played football, has fitness in his family as well, and like understands the stuff, right? And he reached out to me after a very, very spicy workout that I had programmed for him on Monday. I was like, hey, I'm really sore. What are some stretches? I was like, to break up the stiffness. No, I'm not going to do that. And so I explained why in no jargon, in 2 or 3 sentences, right? What you're experiencing is a short-term reaction to the very real adaptations that we did on Monday. Stretching is unlikely to make you feel better. So we need to move, go for a good walk. And then I'm going to add a little bit of functional movement for you today. Some body weight hinges, right? Not just let me stand and try to touch my toes and scream at the universe
Right.
about it.
Or foam roll for 20 minutes.
Right. But then knowing him and knowing his personality, I named the workout, Fuck, I'm sore.
See, it's that level of personalization that really
Right.
matters.
Right. And there are some clients who are very soft spoken, and if they open their app to see that, they'd be like, what?
Completely. Yeah.
And so my job as a coach is to understand the difference.
I was thinking about this the other day I generally have a point early in the morning where I open my coaching app and go through all of the workouts that have happened the day before and analyze and give feedback and watch a bunch of video and do all of that stuff. And there were two people kind of back to back, very different clients, though if you were to look at them from afar, they're fairly similar avatars, but they're very different
Right.
people. One of them, I gave this like very caring 30,000 foot view of why a workout was difficult and how we were going to adjust to make sure that it was sustainable going forward and why it was a good idea. Like, I know it was hard. It wasn't, that's okay. And I know you didn't feel great about this, but I think this is the right way forward. And if you're down to feel like you did today, I think we can get some work done. The other client, I basically said, what are you getting upset about? It was one test out of thousands. We didn't train for it. It was a dumb conditioning piece. You're letting this affect your personality and your identity, and I barely have time for it. And that both of those were the right things, I believe, to say to those people. But as I was typing the second one, I was like, this hardly sounds like the same coach, but it is like finding the right way in for
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Which coach am I going to be?
And across the spectrum, like, how much am I going to curse? How funny is this? How incredibly technical and professional is this going to be? Like, which Justin do you need today?
Right. Which Justin do you need? Yeah. There was an analogy that came up at the Active Life seminar that I went to recently that really, like, it was a light bulb moment kind of that we need both hardware and software. Right?
Completely.
Like, and so it was in the context of, hey, you might have the ability to get into this position, which is the hardware required, but you might not have the software for it, where we've got no control of it. And so we need to develop that component. But we could relate that over to, I mean, practically anything. But if we're thinking about it from a coaching perspective, I need the hardware. I need some amount of technical knowledge. I need some amount of business acumen. I need some amount of ability to market myself well. And also, I need the soft skills of coaching. I need to be able to meet a person where they are. I need to be able to figure out how they like to be communicated to and communicate in that way, right? There's all these software skills that is where a lot of really intelligent, technical, like genius coaches just completely fall flat.
Yeah, fall down. And then I agree with everything you just said. And I find it so interesting because I've run into coaches like this. I probably was a coach like this at some point. And some of them recognize the problem and view it as this immovable object.
Right.
As opposed to like everything else you've ever learned, even if you're people who are like really good at learning and they pick up skills fast, which I'm good at learning, but I don't pick up anything fast. I think it's one of the reasons I'm a good coach is because it takes me longer than everyone to get good and learn stuff. But the other side of that is I have learned that I will smash my head into a wall 30,000 times if it means I get the result. Like I will sit in a room for 10 hours and just smash against something like, oh, okay, I understand now. Now I can move on. And I've failed 12 different ways getting there. So when someone else starts to fail, I'm like, whoa, don't do that. No, I actually know where that's going. That's the whole problem. But these great coaches who don't have those soft skills yet, or aren't great at talking to people, or haven't found the way to put the technical stuff in their own language. You can see them trying to like remember how Dr. Mike Israetel said this and say back the paragraph he said on a podcast and use his words. And you're like, no, you sound like this giant weird bodybuilder with
Right.
a head that's too big for his body. Sorry, Mike, I love you. I've met Mike; he's great. But like, use your words, and these are things you can practice. You
Right.
can do it with people. You can do it with clients. You can do it with friends. You can put yourself on video and then delete the video, but make yourself talk for 10 minutes about a subject, and you will incrementally get better at these things.
Right. You will become more relatable and less robotic and more likable if you figure out, how does my face look when I do this, and how does
Such a thing.
my voice sound if I don't change my pitch at all. I'm not angry, but you wouldn't know that. Like, we need to have a little bit of inflection. We need to maybe talk with a smile.
Have you ever filmed yourself coaching a class?
No, I think I would die.
Brutal.
I think I would.
It's
No, that's actually
brutal
not
feedback.
true. That's not true. I haven't done it in a CrossFit style class.
Okay.
But I don't know that you know this about me. I taught at Row House, which is like cycle bar but for rowing. Have we talked about this?
Echoing in my brain somewhere, but I definitely forgotten it.
Yeah. So it's like your kind of classic bougie boutique group fitness studio where black lights and really moody, and I'm up on a podium with a mic and a spotlight and control of the lights and control of the music and the volume. And
You got the Britney mic on?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we've got 2 screens that show some information about like the group, the full rooms averages and where we're at, like as a boat, not as individuals. And as part of getting certified to coach that, I had to go to a full weekend thing, and then I had many weeks of training.
Oh yeah?
That culminated in a class test out that was like filmed, submitted to corporate, and either signed off or
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
more intense than I would have guessed.
Yeah. My understanding is that they had to dial that back significantly because it was not sustainable.
Yeah.
As they were growing the business.
Pretty great way. Like as far as quality assurance goes, it's pretty badass.
Yeah, I got really, really good at rowing. And enjoyed it till I didn't. And then was like, man, I've been rowing 70,000 meters a week for a year. What would it be like to move in another plane?
That might be enough.
That might be right. So yes, have been filmed and did not enjoy watching it.
It's not easy. It's so hard. No. I have 2 tiny stories. One much more relevant. When I first started podcasting, I would, edit myself because I knew I had to edit it. And the first time I listened to a solo podcast I had just recorded of me talking was brutal. Because all of it, and I still do. My thing is I say like a lot. It's a trip at minimum 3-decade habit that I try and cut down on, but it is just part of my vernacular and how I speak. But that first recording, whatever it was like it's just endless filler words and sentences that sort of trailed off, and I implied at the end of the sentence because my brain already filled it in. And sometimes I would just talk too fast because I don't understand. I'm just trying to like get the information across. So why don't we talk? And this is actually too fast to talk to people, and no one actually wants to listen to anyone talk like this. But sometimes it's how and that was hard to listen to, but really helpful.
Right. I had this makes me think of a side quest story. I had a professor in college who had I don't know if it was a tic or if it was something he was not aware he was doing, but he would say either whatever else it might be or whatever it might be many, many times within the hour.
Interesting.
And it got to a certain point in the semester. I had a friend who took this class with me, and we would keep tallies. Because it kept us engaged. to this person who keeps saying this one very peculiar sentence over and over again. And I will never forget that the greatest use of whatever else it might be was 39 times in an hour.
That's so much. That has
It's
to be
incredible.
a tick he didn't even realize he was saying.
Yeah.
You know, your row house thing reminded me of, as a very young man, I worked at Starbucks. And this was,
Oh.
if you can imagine it, a time when Starbucks was new, at least on the East Coast.
Right, because you're
Routinely-
ancient.
Yes. Well, not everyone knows this. We actually have exactly the same birthday, which is just happenstance, but same day, same month, same year. But Starbucks was brand new. Gonna slip that in. Like the least believable thing of all the nonsense. So new, you know, when people would walk in, I would be teaching people what a latte was. I would be teaching people what a cappuccino was. They didn't have their
Oh wow.
thing.
You were there. You were there when the old magic was written.
I was there. I was already working there the summer they released the Frappuccino. For Starbucks, I was sent to Boston. I live near Boston. I had 2 or 3 days where I had to go into Boston for 8 hours of training and learn everything about coffee, where it was sourced, how it was roasted, why we do things this way, why we don't do things this way, why flavored coffee is so bad, why we will never sell canned coffee because of A, B, C, and D, tasting dozens and dozens and dozens of cups of coffee and giving notes on it, being able to pull out like the difference from Sumatra and French because they're both dark, but they have very different acidities and all of this stuff. And I came back getting paid still like not minimum wage, but nearly minimum wage. It was like, you know, not great money, but I loved it. And I took it very seriously and had a great time just like teaching people about coffee and all of that stuff. And to watch, I haven't been to Starbucks in a very long time for a variety of reasons, but to watch their just absolute abdication of quality and care, and they were so big on caring about employees. Like I had stock option offers as a part-time employee. I turned them down because I didn't know anything. I was like, what would I do with stock options?
What would I do with that?
Why would I want Starbucks stock options in 1996? What would that ever do for me in my future life? And literally discounted them because I was like, I don't understand stock market. I'm going to say no. And they were mad at me. And I was like, well, I don't. And no one really explained it to me. But yeah.
Right. You're like, hey, this means that you own a fraction of the company. And so should the company grow and get bigger, so too will the money associated with this portion of, no, none of that.
And being a third place, like they were so big on being a third place where people could come and work and read and hang out and meet. And we're going to have community days and all of this.
Right.
And just as growth and scaling has become the only thing that matters, all like so many other things, all of the good stuff has gone away.
Right.
And it's become a place of misery that looks like every other place.
Right. I remember when they redid the Starbucks close to my house and took out like the comfortable leather chairs and the coffee table and the couch.
Can,
they put in a bunch of stupid stools.
Yeah. They don't want
and
you
then
comfortable.
Another one, they converted entirely to like a drive-through store. Like you go in and there's a place to stand. I'm like, all right, this is great.
Get him in,
this
get him out.
This has changed. Yeah.
But maybe we can squeeze another 3 cents an hour out of it, and that'll look good for the shareholders, even though it's like not a place anyone speaks nicely of anymore and is terrible to workers and bad for neighborhoods. And Yep.
I don't want Sustain to be that way.
That's fair. And I mean, I don't know to what degree we have to worry about Sustain being a global monolith that edges out all of the neighborhood fitness places.
Don't poo-poo my dreams, Justin.
Well, that's part of it. I don't think you have monolithic dreams.
No, I don't.
Like Starbucks started in I think it started in the early 80s.
Right.
And then it grew and it grew. And then a dude named Howard Schultz actually bought, I think he bought the naming rights and all but one store or something, like, which is buying 2 or 3 stores, and said, "I've
Right.
got a plan. I think this can really be something and grow," and turned
Mm,
it into basically what we know as the modern coffee shop. Like, it's very
mm,
reasonable to say Starbucks invented not cafes, but what we know as the modern coffee shop is,
right.
mid-90s Starbucks, and
Right.
everyone copied that because people were suddenly willing to pay $5
Six
for,
$6 for a cup of coffee.
yeah, for a thing with that had some espresso in it, and then they could sit down and work on their laptop for an hour, and then they'd buy another
Right.
one and maybe a croissant and sit down
Right.
and work on their laptop for another hour, kind of thing. But losing, I think a lot about this, about how you keep something fresh and interesting and creative, especially when it's
Mm,
working. I've seen,
yeah.
we've both seen, I mean, CrossFit, I could go on for an hour about how CrossFit did
Oh,
this, but
dude.
like, because you have this moment when something beautiful happens, like business creativity wise, it's exciting, and there's a lot of curiosity and boldness
Mm-hmm.
and brashness and people trying
Mm-hmm.
things, and a bunch of stuff doesn't work and they aren't put off by it, and they keep trying things and it works, and other people notice and other people get excited, and this is
Right.
cool, and there's a moment where people say, like, this is going great, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, or
Mm,
hold on, we really want to scale or grow. We're going to systematize this. We're going to write down everything we're
right.
doing right now, and this is now the way it has to be. We're going to
And this is now
ossify
the
it.
SOP.
We're going to freeze it in place. This is now it. Now, I'm
That's it.
down for systems. I'm down for SOP, but as I strongly believe, as soon as it becomes, well, this is the way it's done, and there's not a ton of room for not only the people at the top, but
Mm-hmm.
other trusted compatriots to say, "Hey, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try a version of this that I think might
Right.
be better." And knowing that might not work, when that isn't allowed and even championed, I
Mm-hmm.
think I think we've hit a plateau, potentially leading to a downslope.
Right. I had a conversation yesterday with somebody who I've hired to support some remote clients.
Hmm.
And it was just to get some clarity on what the role will entail.
Yeah.
And um, she asked for this, which I was so grateful for. Like, awesome, you want more information. This is good. It's not just like a, yeah, sure, this sounds fine, whatever you want it to be. Like, no, you want some more information. You want this to be a dialogue. And one of the most important things to me is that I'm not necessarily married to any one way of doing things. And
Yeah.
so I'm the only person who's ever seen like the back workings of Sustained. And so as she gets on board, if she realizes like, hey, there's some things that we could be doing differently that would like create a better product
Yep.
or a smoother workflow for us, please bring that up.
Yep.
Like, because I'm tied to outcome and I don't give a shit how we get there.
Yeah, and it could be, first of all, congratulations, by the way. It's very exciting that you
Thank you.
fired this person. And I know who it is, but we can be vague until everything's up and running. But I'm very excited for you and them. What you're describing could be, that's cool, you work that way. We're going to have a couple of benchmarks that we
Right.
can standardize because I need a way to be able to check because it's my business. I have to know what's going on. But
Right.
you're great. And by the way, this might be this way of doing things is one of the ways we're going to fit
Hmm.
you with people. You know, I
Right.
could imagine an intake form about that has, I don't know that if I've ever seen your intake form, but I could imagine it having some like communication style preferences or things, or
Hmm.
do you want this out of your coach, and that
Right. What do
sort of
you expect
stuff,
from your
making it
coach?
obvious that you're like, oh, you know what, this person's actually a better fit. They love
Right.
doing that stuff, and that's not my style. So this person is actually a great fit, you know, for this part of Sustained, maybe
Right.
not a Weezy client.
Right. This is kind of another side tangent to this. And for anybody who's listening to this who is like, I would really like to work with Weezy at some point, please still let's talk if that's true. But I am, as I'm looking at what the future looks like, I know that once I open Sustained proper, there's going to be more administrative work,
Totally.
right? I'm
Mhm.
I'm going to have more things on my docket to do from an administrative perspective. And so that means that my energy will have to shift a little bit so that I don't get back into a place of working 50, 60 hours a week, right? So
Sure.
I am planning to coach significantly less people remotely.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that doesn't necessarily mean, particularly if you're listening to this and you're a remote client, you're about to get booted over to this person I've just hired who you don't know at all.
Right.
That's not how we roll. But it's forcing me to think a little more strategically about, okay, who are the people that I feel super inspired to work with in a very tight niche? And acknowledge that maybe that's not true forever, right? Like maybe once Sustain gets up and running, I hire an admin to do some of the admin stuff and to help keep our actual house in order, right? But
Well, and like
when we,
cleaners and that kind of
right,
like
right,
all of the stuff that happens with a brick and
right.
mortar location.
When we open, it's going to be me.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking about that from that perspective of, okay, if I'm going to add in 8 hours a week conservatively of stuff, then that means 8 hours a week of stuff probably needs to come off my plate, or I need to acknowledge, hey, this season's going to be really hard and I need to have an end date to that.
Yeah, I think that's which is how we would progress anything, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
I have this goal. Okay, this is going to be a hard thing, right? This
Right.
is we were talking about a client the other day who has a competition coming up. Something
Mhm.
occurred. They're a couple weeks out from the competition, and you and I were talking like, well, we're in just get through it mode now. Like
Yeah.
this is going to kind of suck for a while. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
that Sustained is going to suck, but there's going to be moments where
Oh, yeah.
you haven't gotten rid of, you aren't doing any fewer remote clients, and people are pouring in. And there's like the three things that neither of us can imagine right now that have happened. Like,
Right.
oh, what do you mean? I don't even know. The parking lot just disappeared. It was very strange. Someone
Or
came
they're
in the
like
night and stole
resurfacing
the
it.
parking lot.
Right.
This hasn't happened before, but here we go. Yeah, the road's closed for the next 2 months. What? How? But this is a main. What?
Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of
Is
things.
the road going to pay my rent?
Precisely. But stuff is. I'm not trying to be scary, but like stuff
Right.
is just gonna happen,
Stuff is going to happen.
and it's gonna be hard, and that's okay because we also have time limits on it. Like we have
Right.
expectations and systems, and oh, I know this is gonna be hard. Here's
Right.
the things I'm going to do to deal with the outcomes and issues that are pretty predictable. And here's
Right.
kind of the timeline I want to do it on. I mean,
Right.
I've seen so many gym owners who are just trapped and sad and busy and kind
No
of
end
treading
date
water
and no plan.
and no plan and no seem like so busy and so tired and so stressed and a lot of them very unhappy, but also with no plan and to seem like they don't want to be there, but they aren't willing to leave. So I don't understand. You're like,
Right. Right.
I don't even know if I want to do this.
That's like the gym equivalent or the business equivalent of, well, this is just how as good as it's going to get. So, nah.
This is just what it is. This is just
Oh,
yeah. Gym owners work 100 hours a week, and you're going to make $30,000 a year, and you should be happy and grateful that
nah.
you get to do fitness for a living. You're like, bro, like who
Grateful
broke you?
doesn't pay my bills.
No,
Get
and who
out.
broke you? Who taught you these
Right.
terrible lessons? And or why aren't you willing to reach out and ask for help or just have coffee with somebody? Like, hey,
Right.
your gym seems to be doing well. Could we sit down and have coffee and I could ask some questions?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmingly successful people tend to be pretty generous with that stuff.
Totally. And if they're not, they're probably not somebody you'd want to take advice from anyway.
Which is also a great lesson, right? I've had lots of calls and coffee and things like that with people. I'm like, oh, well, I know I
Ooh.
never want to work with you or anyone like you. So
Zoinks.
good to figure that out. And I'm sure there's lots of people who are a good fit for you. Like that's also fine. It's just not my cup of tea.
Have you connected with anybody in Rhode Island yet?
Interestingly, I connected with the first person who's a mutual. She's a relatively new into the ALP education, and she's
Yeah.
one town over, basically.
Dope.
We ended up on a call yesterday. I was on a call with Larry, who we both know, who
Yeah.
I logged on the call, and I immediately got a private chat being like, "What are you doing here? What are you gonna? What do you want? Why are you here?" 'Cause there
Did
was
you
like,
go to the prospecting lab?
yes. And I was like, I haven't been to one of these in a long time. I wanted to make sure, I always want
I
to make sure I'm
wanted to
not
learn
getting
how to
stale.
prospect.
I
I'm new
had
at this.
I had time. I always want to make sure, maybe I could learn something.
I'm just
Okay.
here to heckle the newbies,
Very
suss out the
suspicious.
fresh blood.
Yeah. That was fun. But someone on that call said, "Oh, Justin, I know you're in Providence. I'm in Cranston. We should meet up." I was like, and on the call, I was like, "I don't have any friends. That would be great." Yeah, I'll meet up and hang out. Yeah. I do have, it turns out, a friend of, like a light friend, very close acquaintance somewhere in there of, 20 years lives in Providence. And we had lunch the other day. It was one of
Love
those,
it.
like, she started following me on Instagram kind of out of nowhere. I was like, "Hey, friend, thanks for, wait a minute. Didn't you used to
Wait
work
a
in
minute.
Providence?" She's like, "I'm sitting in the Providence Fine Arts Center as we speak." Oh,
Oh,
I live in Providence. What? We have to have lunch.
do you want to form an alliance with me?
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. Look at you making friends
Slowly.
in your new home.
Yeah. I need to get out more, and I'm so resistant to like joining a run club or things like that.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's just like like the stereotype is that it's a dating scene, right? Which I have no interest in. So that's not why I'm there.
Oh, I wouldn't think that.
Oh, that's what I think. Maybe it's just jokes. I've never been to I've run a lot. I still run. But the like social media jokes I've seen are all that Running Club is basically like, the modern active singles bar kind of thing.
Oh, all right.
But I don't
Good
know.
for them.
There's one in walking distance from me based in a place that I really like. I was like, I could just go do this. And there's like 1 mile and 3 mile distances and like very perfectly conservative things I can kind of just do. I should probably go and meet people and not like trolling. This is another part of it. I don't want to go trolling for customers.
Right.
I just kind of like want to meet people. And
That's how I feel about pickleball.
Yeah.
Is like, if somebody asks, what do you do? I'll tell them.
Yeah.
But if I notice somebody comes in wearing an ankle brace or a knee brace, I'm not going to be like, "Hey, do you want to buy some fitness from me?"
I saw you touch your knee. What's going on? Right this way.
Gross.
Card.
I think you should do that.
Yeah, I probably should. You're right.
I think you would benefit from it in a number of ways, even if it's just interacting with people in the same actual space.
Yeah, just meeting and it's not that it's the smallest city I've ever lived in. That's for sure. And there's, a lot of people, but not that many people. And I strongly suspect it's one of those things that everyone knows everyone at least secondhand. Like, "Oh, you work there? Oh, my cousin's boss used to work there." Kind of like everyone's
my
connected.
orthodontist wife is there.
Yeah. Apparently people never leave too. That's like a thing about Providence.
Ooh.
It's like everyone knows everyone, and lots of people have they moved here and they never leave.
They never left.
Yeah. The whole thing.
Taylor Swift has a house in Rhode Island.
Newport, I imagine. That's where the mansions are.
It's called Holiday House. She wrote a song about it.
Oh, nice. I haven't been out to the Newport mansions, but they're famous.
It's called The Last Great American Dynasty. That was he was the heir to the Standard Oil name, which is a line in the song.
Oh.
And married this woman named Rebecca. Not your Rebecca. Yes. Not
that
yours.
we know of.
That we know of. We think, she's dead, so hopefully.
Allegedly.
But essentially, like, he married this shockingly normal and divorced woman not from Rhode Island, and she was kind of an outcast of society. And they lived in this house called Holiday House, and um, he passed away after a very long run of intense partying at their house.
Okay.
And then she just kind of like went feral in the house. Like she'd fly in all of her friends and supposedly dyed a neighbor's dog green. Like just truly unhinged, whimsical
Absolute
nonsense.
1920s craziness.
Yeah. And then when she left the house, I don't know if she left willingly or she died or something happened. It then sat empty for a while. And then Taylor Swift bought it.
Wow. Who was Standard Oil? Was that Rockefeller? I don't remember.
I have no idea. It was
one of those like three, giant, the what is now Bezos and Musk and people like that in that age was Rockefeller and Morgan, and there's somebody else I'm forgetting who basically owned, everything, and they had vertical and horizontal monopolies, and but they actually did some good things. They like built libraries and museums, and they were still monsters, but they built libraries and museums and trains and all kinds of other interesting things.
Right.
So there was that. It wasn't just trying to like rob everyone of their humanity.
Right. It wasn't, hey, do you need to go to the bathroom? Too bad.
Yeah.
You have orders that have paid for same-day delivery.
Yeah. They did, create private police forces to break strikes by killing people. So they did lots of really bad stuff.
Yeah, they made museums, but they did some stuff too. I think his name was Will, if I'm remembering the song correctly. Will was the heir to the Standard Oil name.
Sure.
So now you know.
Now I'm all caught up.
Now you're all caught up. I don't think she's there very often anymore, though. Not that, like, why would I know? But
she's pretty busy, right? I imagine
she's
she
got
has
stuff,
places all over.
I hope honestly that she's just living her best life and like going wherever she wants to go, doing whatever she wants to do.
Especially after the tour and everything and all of that, like girl needs some time off and some
headspace
and a little less exposure, right? Like that much being out there so often with that kind of performance and that kind of following and that kind of people analyzing like, no, she wore a different boot during this song, and it being a whole thing.
Get out of here. It is a big thing. They made an app. Do you know about the app?
Who?
Swifties. Some tech savvy Swifties made an app called Swift Alert, like relatively early in the tour. Once they realized, oh, she's going to wear different stuff. And you could basically like draft, like, what is Taylor's show tonight? Right down to what are the surprise songs and what's she going to play on guitar? What's she going to play on piano? Is she going to wear the red or the gold Reputation onesie? Yeah. Like, you could draft her whole show, and then the winner, the person who got closest to the reality of the show, would win a fabulous prize, which was usually like some sort of Swiftie memorabilia that is no longer available to the public.
Oh, so was this maybe back end actually her and her team doing it?
No way.
No? You seem confident.
No, because you can find out, like, I once looked into who are the people who built this, because I had that same question, like, who's behind this? And it's just somebody who loves Taylor Swift who happened to be savvy enough to like build this app.
And that's the kind of like, that's amazing and engaging and incredible, and the kind of thing that every single artist dreams of, people caring about their stuff that much. It also sounds fucking exhausting. Like at some point, like, wouldn't it be nice to just like get up and not think at all about what you're going to put on your body and walk across the street and get a bacon, egg, and cheese? And I know like fame, like, oh, poor famous people and all of that. But I think there's something to be said, like being super exposed and being really on it and being really
Right.
public, and then deliberately turning a bunch of those levers off and
Right.
going into hiding with people you can trust to not leak a bunch of pictures and that
Taylor
kind of stuff.
Swift wore plaid in a green hue. What does it mean?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know.
Like,
Maybe
this
nothing at
ad lib
all.
was slightly different.
Yeah.
She's definitely
Although
headed to Rio.
she also really, really likes dropping Easter eggs.
Yeah, that's part of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna start doing stuff. Oh, people have figured out that it's code. Now I can be nefarious and
Haha.
drop things a year out for cute little things. And
Right.
it's not that much work. And people will
No.
keep it going and turn it into, essentially a free publicity campaign.
Right. Particularly because to be in that kind of industry, like you need to be thinking years out kind of all the time. And so if she's already thinking about it, it's like, oh, well, I'm going to go on tour 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start dropping little hints about the album that's not even come up yet now.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of planning and a lot of logistics.
Mm-hmm. I will not be doing that for Sustained.
Not dropping lots of Easter eggs.
No, I'm too impatient for that. If I have news to share, I'm like, I would like to share news.
Yes. Here it is. There's been a couple of those where you're like, hey, bud, I have a secret. And we talk about it. And like 15 minutes later, it's on your social media. And I was like, okay, like that's, it's your secret, but that didn't last very long.
If you have a really, really secret,
yeah,
I can keep it for you.
yeah.
I cannot do that for myself. I have a very hard time with it.
Yeah.
No. I think that like joy and excitement is contagious and I like to share it with people.
I agree. And I've found overwhelmingly, the people who follow me or care about it, and certainly clients and stuff, love that stuff. Like,
yeah,
they get excited for me and they also want me to succeed and also want to be part of it and all of that. So it's useful and it feels good.
right.
And people inevitably like are supportive and all of that.
Right. Should we talk about what has happened over the last 7 days with Sustained? Do you think it's worth it?
Yes, I do. It'll be a couple weeks out, but I think
Yeah.
we have an idea of where things are going now. So, and it's been a week. It's been a journey.
It's been a week.
Yeah. They laughed and they cried.
We didn't laugh. We did cry a lot. So I've been looking passively for a place since November and very, very actively since February.
Like a brick and mortar location for Sustained.
Correct. A brick and mortar location for Sustained. The first.
Mm-hmm.
It's been incredible to collaborate with CrossFit Clintonville. I cannot say enough good things about them and about Pat, the owner. He's been just remarkable to work with and for. I've loved being there. And also, as I'm thinking about how the business needs to evolve, I really want to offer something for people who are graduated or graduating, meaning we accomplished the thing that we said that we were coming here to do. And then often we get to the end of that journey and an in-person client will say like, but can I stay?
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, you can if you want to keep paying $1,200 a month, but I don't have something next for you. Right.
Right.
I don't have a small group offering for the people who understand how their bodies work and the little intricacies of things that might need to change for their program. I don't have a small group offering, and there's really no good mechanism for me to build that at CrossFit Clintonville.
Yeah, because they have their own group offering. It's already
right. They have their own thing.
Yeah.
And I'm taking a corner of the open gym side, right? Like it would become a different conversation if I had, let's say, a group of 6.
Yeah.
Right. So this has been in the back of my mind for almost a year and have been looking.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of arduous. We had a place that we submitted an RFP, which is a request for proposal. Like corporate real estate's a little different from residential.
A bid saying, hey, I'd like to lease your place. How do you feel about it?
I'd like to lease your place. Can you propose some potential terms for that? right? And there's no tight turnaround like there is for residential where like, hey, you've got 24 hours to respond. And so the first place took 3 full weeks to even tell us, no, we've already leased it.
When you looked at the place, we had actually already leased it.
Right. When you looked at it, it already had a tenant. Sorry.
Yep.
Like, okay, cool. Great. Thank you for the colossal waste of time. And then there've been a couple other like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, blah. And then the most recent happening was that there were 2 who had both granted occupancy, and the one is only going to be a 1-year lease. It's in a part of Columbus called German Village. The traffic pattern there is really not great, but it would be a fine temporary home. And the other one, which is much closer to where CrossFit Clintonville is, which is obviously a little more palatable, right? If you're willing to come to Clintonville, you're probably willing to go here. But the ceiling was too low. And so it was a drop ceiling. And part of the terms that we asked for was, hey, take the ceiling out.
Yep.
Right. And they said no. And then I said, okay, sorry. And they said, well, hang on. Wait. And so then factor into this, we had some travel, there was a holiday, they had to get a couple of bids, everything took longer than it normally might. And then after coming back to us and saying, hey, we're definitely going to be able to take the ceiling out and we'll have a bid and new terms to you by Friday of last week.
Right.
I was operating under the assumption of I'm going to have these 2 places to choose from. What an incredible position I'm in.
Yeah.
And then over the course of the week, talking to all existing clients about, hey, how do you feel about one versus the other? And quickly came to light, oh, I'm going to lose like half of my business if I take the German Village place because the traffic really is that bad.
It's that off-putting.
Even for a year. It's like, I'm clearly not going to do that. So I'm going to go with this other one. And then on Friday at about lunchtime, got an email from my realtor that said, hey, they're actually not going to be able to take the ceiling out after getting a couple different bids on it. It's just not going to be aesthetically what anybody's going to be happy with. And it's going to cost a lot of money. And so they're just not willing to do it. I'm like, okay, great. I'm done for the day. Goodbye. Yeah. And so I stared at my computer for like 2 hours trying to will myself to work and then drove home. And Ted basically like scooped me up and put me in the car and said, let's go to Costco so we can shop before the weekend starts. And I cried in the parking lot until we could no longer go in. And so he said, new plan. We're going to go pick up our children. And what do you think about going to get your favorite pizza? Yeah, okay.
That would
Great.
be okay.
That would be fine. And so we pull in. It's I believe, the only authentic New York style pizza in Columbus. It's very good. It's called Borgata. And we pull into this plaza, which is very cute, well appointed, about 10 minutes north of Clintonville, but accessible to 2 other major suburbs of Columbus that I currently am not really accessible to. And we park in front of a vacant 1,600 square foot property in the plaza that was formerly a fitness forward PT. And this place was not on any of the listing sites that me or my realtor have been using. It's independently brokered. That seems to be like maybe a little uppity, but it's fine. Run your house how you want. And so we go in for dinner and sit down, and our sweet little waitress comes over to take our order and, hi. Is the owner here? Can I talk to him? I would like to know his price per square foot. I would like to know how he likes being here. I would like to know anything he might like to share with me. I'm hoping to open a gym in the plaza. Like, I want that space.
Would you guys like some garlic knots? Actually, I have zoning questions.
Actually.
Can we do zoning? Zoning and garlic knots.
Right. So the owner comes over and He goes, my waitress said that you wanted to talk to me about opening a gym.
Yeah.
And he looked
We think
down.
your pizza place should definitely sponsor a gym.
Right. He looked down and he was like, I don't know if I'm best equipped for that.
Oh.
And I laughed, and the mood had totally changed by that point for me, because like hope is such a powerful drug. And
Very much so.
asked him some questions. Overwhelmingly, he's been happy in the plaza. He's been there 8 years, so long enough that if something was going to hit the fan, it would have done it by now.
Yeah, and he's gone through some
got-
stuff if he's been there for 8 years. Like,
Right,
things have
yeah.
moved a lot.
Right. Some things have occurred. So I saw it today. It is exponentially more money than I'd like to spend and less money than I can afford. So we're going to try. Tall ceilings. It's already well outfitted for a gym space, obviously.
It's got some stuff that none of the places had, which are
right. Yeah,
huge bonuses in my book.
It has a shower. It has a washer dryer hookup. It has 2 spaces that could be training spaces. It has 1 very large office that could be 2 offices. It's got a generous reception area, and it also has like some really wonderful and aesthetically pleasing fans already in that.
Sweet.
Even are on like a 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just on off. So we're gonna see what happens. Trying not to get too terribly excited about it, because things can happen and have happened. But it has also opened my eyes to the possibility of, okay, well, what's possible if I really do raise my budget a little bit?
Yeah.
To a place where I am not freaked out, but I'm not the most comfortable, but thinking about it in terms of, okay, what does this make possible? Rather than, can I afford this right now with no impact to what's currently happening?
Yeah, not that it's not possible, not even that it's not sound business, but it's not easy.
No, it's not
oh
easy.
yeah, like I can obviously do that.
Right.
But this place that has so much going for it, and
Right.
you don't have to do remarkable things to make it work. Or there was a little, when you were first looking at the place with the drop ceiling, I remember we had a conversation, and I felt like you were a little bit trying to convince yourself that a 7-foot ceiling would be okay. Because, well, I mostly work with women, and most of them aren't above 5'5", so that's fine. I'm just going to cap my clientele at 5'5", which is a totally reasonable thing to do, and we'll move forward
I help
from that.
active women 5'5" and under.
Yes. You may not, that little thing like a pirate with a hand over the doorway. It's like, you must fit under this hand to train it sustained.
Yeah.
Ted's like crawling under it to come find you.
Well, so when we went to go see it the second time, because the first time I was there, I didn't measure the ceilings because I am operating under the assumption they're going to take it out. It's fine. Yep. So the second time I went, I took Ted with me, and he put his arms over his head and he palmed the ceiling. I was like, okay, great.
So if you had a barbell in your hand,
would it hit the ceiling?
Or a dumbbell, or
it would go
anything.
Straight through it.
Or if you did a handstand, or
no way,
any of that.
No
stuff.
chance. Yeah. So, we'll see. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling hopeful, and the only thing that I'm feeling is regret that they already ripped out the glue down flooring.
Oh, it's a bummer. Yep.
Yeah, because that would have saved me $2,500.
Yep. I'm depending on when this comes out. We know when it's coming out, but I forget when it's coming out. Some things will probably have developed, so people will be able to listen to this and either go catch up
in
or
retrospect
see what the next developments are, all that. But it sounds incredibly promising. Have you polled clients about this location to your satisfaction?
I have, and in fact, it's more convenient for many of them. And having conversations as well with some people who are kind of like right on the cusp of not needing one-on-one training anymore about, hey, if I were to do, let's say, a Monday, Thursday, 9:15 group offering, would that work for you? And overwhelmingly the answer is, oh yeah. Oh, what would you price that at? Oh, yeah, I'd do that forever.
Way less
Great.
than one-on-one. Yeah.
Way less than one-on-one.
Yep.
So the one client that I spoke to earliest about this, she's incredible. I love working with her. I hope she listens to this and hears it because it's true. I love working with her. I was telling her this story because we've developed a really nice rapport over the last almost year.
Mhm.
And told her about being at Borgata, and she goes, "Wait, you were at Borgata on Friday at 6? I was picking up pizza at Borgata on
Yep.
Friday at 6. That's 2 minutes from our house. We love that." I was like, "Oh, well,
This would be very easy.
bully for you. This would be very convenient for you to choose
Yeah.
this."
Yeah. That's so cool.
And the addition of a shower too is a big deal,
It's a
particularly
huge deal.
for people who might need to go straight to work.
The morning crowd, and some, depending on, especially, I have found the morning crowd, a lot of them need a shower because that is they're working out and they're going straight to work. I know Columbus, you have more people who will go home and go to work, but
Correct.
certainly my experience is all in cities, and the nature of it tends to be commute takes a while or whatever, or people coming in from the burbs. They need a shower. And especially in the summer, but a lot of times in the evenings, people will come right after work and then they're going somewhere. Not always,
Right.
but especially on the like Thursday, Friday nights, people come, they hit their 5:30 workout, and then they're off to their dinner reservations. And so they need a place. So the ability to do that, and
Right.
I have absolutely not joined gyms before exclusively because they either didn't have a shower or the shower facility wasn't enough for the size of the space. Giant Globo gym, and there's one shower stall.
Right.
Well, there's someone in there now, and I can see someone waiting for it. What I can't do is schedule half an hour to wait for a shower every day. So
Right.
I love everything else about this gym, but I logistically can't join this.
Right. Yeah. And for myself as well, I would really like to work out as a break in the day because I find that
Huge.
like moving my body brings me energy, but I'm also completely not on board with the idea of taking meetings or seeing clients sticky.
No.
And so it then becomes a possibility for me to like, hey, okay, great. When I hit that kind of 1:30, like, oh, I've been staring at the computer for 5 hours. Great. I'm going to go move my body. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to feel super energized. I'm going to get right back at it.
Yeah, that's huge. When I worked at a gym, I would always have 2 or 3 changes of clothes around, just for that. Of like, oh, I have an opportunity to work out. I have a client in 2 hours, so I can do a short workout and shower and clean up and be reasonable 20 minutes before the next appointment starts, which is going to be fine. That like quality of life for you and potential employees, I think it's also a really big deal.
Huge.
Have we talked at all about my home gym plans?
No.
So I'm relatively new to Providence. We've been here for 3, coming on 4 months, right? I love this house. It's me buying this house was a little like you going into this place potentially with Sustain. Like, I can do it, but the last place was easy, and this isn't easy. It's fine, but it's not easy. Amongst other things this house has, which I find kind of funny, but is a 3-car garage.
Yeah.
We don't own a car. Currently have no plans to own a car. We would be very happy to not. We may in the future. It may be a thing where we need to get a car, but we haven't for a very long time. We prefer to not have a car. We've got a bike. I've got a Vespa, which is like a cute little toy, but doesn't really work for winter and things like that. But we've got a 3-car garage, and the nature of it, an artist lived here for a while, for like 10 years, and I think professional artist. 2 of the garage bays are kind of standard garage bays. They have garage doors that slide up and down and look like a place you would park a car. Someone definitely hit one of the walls too hard one time. I'm going to have to do something to bring that wall back into shape. The 3rd bay has 2 big swinging kind of barn doors on it.
Oh,
and it's much narrower. It's about, it's a 9 feet 8 inches across, actually.
Yeah.
Which is too narrow for modern cars, really. And lots of art stuff happened there. Art storage, sometimes art shows. They would
Mm-hmm.
work out there. It was this sort of third space. There's
Mm-hmm.
not, the driveway doesn't lead to it. The driveway goes to the 2 bays, and the third bay, there's like a little walking path that goes to it. And we
Mm-hmm.
saw this house, and they said, well, that's where the gym goes. I've wanted a home gym forever. Philadelphia was
Yeah.
completely unfeasible. It was impossible. There was no place a gym could possibly go.
Right.
Um, and I've never had a place where it was even a possibility. Now it's a possibility, and it's like 140 square feet that are usable. Like, it's small,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
I'm also one guy.
Right.
So even if Rebecca's going to use it, and even if we work out at the same time, which is probably not going to happen, but could happen.
Mm-hmm. Open the doors.
Exactly. It's fine. So I've been obsessively planning out like how I'm
Yeah.
going to do it and what we're going to have and what gear we want to have. And I wonder if you fall into this. Like, I know too much about too much stuff.
Yeah.
So I do have lines that I won't cross as far as like quality and build and things like that.
Right.
But I
Yep.
also need to make sure that, like, I don't I don't need a Ferrari. I'm going to the grocery store 4 times a week. You don't need to
Right.
do that in a Ferrari. However, I really don't want something that feels like it's going to fall apart under me. I will be unsatisfied and unhappy with that. So I
Right.
am obsessed. I've been for months. I've been obsessively looking at gear, and I have a CAD drawing I did and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I won't let myself spend a cent until the Philadelphia house closes, which is really
Yeah.
hard. At time of recording, it's 2 weeks.
2
In 2
weeks.
weeks, it should be fine, and it should be fine.
It should
Everything
be
seems like it's
fine.
fine. I have no reason to think it's not going to be fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what I don't want to do is spend thousands of dollars, which is currently my plan.
Right.
Or even like the skeleton of what I think I'm going to do to this gym, and then suddenly realize I need to pay another
Ha-ha.
mortgage for several more months or something.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's a smart choice.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
I'm excited to do it. I wish I had it up for the summer because it would have been tons of fun to
Yeah.
work out there in the summertime. But this is also the long-term plan. So like,
Right.
it's if it doesn't, and who knows when I order, the rig from whomever I order it from,
Mm-hmm.
it might take 6 weeks to come because
Right.
sometimes that's what happens. So
Right.
we shall see.
Mm-hmm. I live maybe 8 minutes from Rogue's headquarters,
Yeah.
so I don't have that problem.
There would be.
Yeah.
I have some very specific questions for a Rogue rep. I'm going to get someone on the phone at some point and ask them.
Ooh.
Like, so I want to do this,
Mm-hmm.
and you sell it as a big full thing, but I kind of want
Mm-hmm.
to do it in steps. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
want to like spend 1,000 and then spend 2,000 and then spend
Mm-hmm.
2,000 instead of giving
Mm-hmm.
you 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see a way to do that on your site, but you make all the stuff and do all the stuff. So I know there's a way to do this.
I
But
know there's a way to do this.
I think I need to talk to a human being and
Mm-hmm.
walk through what that would look like, or be told why. No, if
Why
you do that,
not?
if you put it together, you can't come apart again, and then these things
Right.
won't fit, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They've
But
got some good humans at Rogue.
I've
Had good experiences.
exclusively heard. I mean, everyone has like bad stories about people, but overwhelmingly good stuff, good customer service,
Mm-hmm.
good response.
Mm-hmm.
Still like excellent build quality, hiring really quality people, hiring really quality
Extremely
craftsmen.
high build quality.
Like, they love overbuilding things. I've seen some of
Mm-hmm.
their. I've gone and looked at some of their job listings where like they're hiring welders and stuff, and they're really specific about the
Yeah.
kind of people they want and the kind of skills they have because
Right.
they care about their welding and they care about their laser work and
Right.
all of that. So yeah, I'm the squat rack part is 95% going to be Rogue for
Yeah.
those reasons and more, and even like potential resale. Like, I've also been
Yeah.
looking at tons of used stuff. So much of it is like, oh, that's not very old and it looks like junk. I
Right. That
wouldn't
looks like
touch.
trash.
Like, why would I give you $600 for a used Titan anything? Like, what are you talking about? Absolutely not. Like, I've touched Titan. Sorry, Titan, if you're listening to this, maybe you've gotten better, but my experience has been very
Yeah.
poor with
Right.
all of your stuff. And if I ever want to sell it, I can be like, oh, it's a Rogue Power Rig. And people say, oh, well,
People be like, oh.
I know it's really good.
Right.
Tell me how big it is so I can see if it fits my
Because
place.
it's consistently over manufactured.
because they have standards and they're really consistent and they deliver and they listen to people when they want changes, and it's like
Right.
everything works the same way.
Right. I have had the privilege of actually getting to like know, not know intimately, but meet the Heinegers,
Oh.
because of Strongest.
Oh, sure.
Which maybe people listening to the pod don't know anything about this. This is a good tangent.
Yeah, totally. Some Weezy lore.
Some Weezy lore. We're talking about a lot of stuff today. This is great. Yeah. This is fun. So back in 2016, full-time CrossFit coach Weez, making maybe $1,600 a month all in.
Yep. Killing herself.
There was a gentleman who worked out at the CrossFit gym that I coached at. Smartest person I've ever met and likely who I will ever meet. Was a CTO for several major companies, was a very high level data consultant, codes like you couldn't believe, and is the type of person too who has a hard time understanding why people might have trouble doing things they have trouble doing.
Totally.
Which is like wonderful and hilarious in its own regard. But the gym that I was at decided to do an in-house competition. And at the time, there were not a lot of offerings, like if you wanted to have a leaderboard.
Yeah, for like
And
competition scoring at any kind of local level. Yeah.
Right. At that point, it was like, well, we can probably put like a spreadsheet macro together and figure it out. And so this gentleman built a scoring platform for this event, and it was not an in-house comp. There were other gyms from the area there who also ran competitions and said, hey, what is this? Could we use it? And that's when his brain of, hey, I've helped other people build extremely successful things. There might be something here.
Oh. Demand exists.
And so, right.
I have the supply.
Right. It was called Throwdowns at that time. And it has evolved tremendously over the years. It's called Strongest now. The first really big competition that we clinched was the Mayhem Classic right after it became a sanctional. We had worked with Mayhem a number of times initially on their very, very low level, like in-house nonprofit competition, and then up to Mustard Seed, which is a slightly bigger competition. And then when they were preparing to have the classic, we got a call and said, hey, please pitch. There's this other guy who's way further along than you are. They want the job, but we like working with you better. So what's possible here? And the product evolved tremendously in that period of time. And then we worked Wadapalooza. We worked the Rogue Invitational. We worked several other really high profile competitions. And then I'm not sure how long ago, probably about 18 months ago now, Rogue acquired a majority stake in Strongest. So because of that, I've been able to support some really high level fitness competitions in cool places and get to bump elbows with some really cool, awesome, successful, driven, relentless people. So
yeah. Very cool.
Very cool.
That's another thing I like about Rogue is that they have seemed to do a lot of buying stuff up and then not ruining it. And often letting people kind of keep doing the thing. I mean, like, hey, well, we want to be the exclusive distributor of your thing. Or, hey, we want your thing. You mentioned you wanted to do this modification and figure out how to tool it and manufacture and stuff. We've definitely have the resources to do that. Do you want to come in and let us be the distributor and you get your percentage? And we can work on building a great bulletproof version of this thing. And it seems to be, I mean, I'm sure they're like, it's business. I'm sure there's people with terrible business stories working with Rogue and things like that. But it seems overwhelmingly like deliberately on the up and up and deliberately doing it well more than doing it cheaply or fast.
Right. Yeah. They are extremely deliberate and relentless. Those are qualities that I admire. and not something that I would want to be involved in full time.
Yes, exactly. That can be it can be really hard if it's
Right.
immediately above you all of the time, and
Right.
that's the person
Right.
checking your work.
Right. But to that point too, they've been remarkably accommodating. I'm just like a very low level 1099 contract at this point.
Mhm.
Essentially, all I do is that if somebody has a customer support issue with Strongest, it goes to our chat bot. If the AI can't figure it out, it kicks a message out to me and I support them. Right. And I
Nice.
just like bill a standard amount of money a month for that. And then occasionally, if we notice, hey, this question is coming in a whole bunch, I'll maybe write a help article for then AI to serve to the
Mhm.
next person who has that question, right? But that was my role before they bought as well. And we're very happy to just like, hey, this is working.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing. The contract's just to a different person now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
working. Why break it? We're happy with this. We'll keep
Right.
all the good people. We
Right.
we bought the thing because we like the thing, not because we're trying to change it or strip it for resources and do something else with it
Right,
or
right.
any of that
And
other.
I still work and communicate to the same people that I worked and communicated with prior, which is great. I think if that would have changed, it would have been like, oh, I don't know if I want to learn a whole nother reporting style of somebody who does not understand how this product works.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. So are you like my in? Should I bug you for a
No,
discount code? We should just
no,
drop it on the pod.
there is no
Go to
such thing as
roguefitness.com, discount code training partners. It'll save you 33.5% and a third percent on checkout.
hmm hmm There is no such thing as a Rogue Friends and Family discount,
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware of. Even
Believable.
the owner of Strongest, when he bought some stuff for his gym, like my understanding is that there was no kind of accommodation for that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you literally like bought my product. Well, yeah, we bought your product. It was a
Yeah.
fair exchange
You're
of
welcome. You're
goods
spending
to
some of that
money.
money on our stuff
Right.
because you like our stuff.
Right.
Congratulations on all the money. What do you want us to say?
Congratulations.
I stand by that. I don't. Yeah, no
Yeah.
discounts.
No, I'm sure we could like find a Titan discount on the web somewhere.
I'm sure. Yeah, there's endless.
I'm
There's
sorry,
so
Titan, if
many.
you're listening to this,
Yeah,
we would love to test your goods and
it may have
see
gotten a
if they
lot
have
better.
improved.
There was just like
Maybe.
when I was exposed to it, they were making so much stuff, and everything was an immediate knockoff. Someone would come up with a great
Mm,
product, and 10 minutes later, oh, Titan had a version. And you're like,
right.
oh, this is either like at best it's stolen. Like at best they actually got the
Mm,
blueprints and stole it all. More likely they
right.
whipped together a thing that's kind of like the thing and looks like the thing, and you can sell it for 20% of the price,
Mm,
but it's not going to work and it's not going to last and it's not going to feel nice and all of those other things. But I am
hmm
happy if they've turned around a little bit or made quality improvements or become a little more customer quality forward.
hmm
I am totally down.
hmm
Send me a thing,
hmm
I will use it all the time and give an honest review of it.
That's right.
As long as you're okay with the honesty part, then I'm down.
Right. Right. I know that I'm going to do white squat racks.
Old.
Um, dark green paint
Hmm.
on the walls, like evergreen, sustained green.
Hmm.
Um, and lime green Cerakote barbells. I'm like absolutely committed to that.
Sure, I get that.
hmm
I'm a little surprised you're not flip flopping the squat rack and the wall color. I can understand going either way.
Why?
Um, white. The problem with white either place is that it marks really easily, right?
Right.
Like anything, and especially like moving J cups around and smashing barbells into it, and like it just
hmm
gets like scratched up, and like it's easy to make it
hmm
look kind of banged up.
Sure.
Same thing
Sure.
can happen with a wall if you're throwing balls into it, or people are doing handstands into it, or any of that stuff, depending
Sure.
on like what you have planned. White walls also make a place look bigger, like
Mm,
just the expansiveness, and then
sure.
a green. Now, depending on where you're getting stuff, if you're like it is much easier to get white squat racks from a number of suppliers in a number of places than it
hmm
is to get green.
Green. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of the green squat racks that exist are lime green.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yes, and you don't want to do custom squat rack paint. That would be a whole.
No,
That way lies
totally not.
madness.
Totally not. One of the gyms that I worked for in Nashville that no longer exists, it's called Praxis Strength. They had this beautiful white rig.
Okay.
And it was a rogue rig, and to my knowledge, it has held up.
Yeah, and that's like I've done. I know you know this, but I've done endless research. Like Rogue's
Mm-hmm.
paint is really good, and their powder coat is really good, and they're like,
Yeah.
and it holds up. And a lot of the stuff they make, they put like UHMW and really good plastics on things, so it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't get scratched up. Yeah, I totally get it.
So we'll see.
All right,
This
I'm back on board.
particular okay. This particular space, if I get it, is big enough and has tall enough ceilings that I could do an actual like ground cement mount rig if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So chewing on that as a potential possibility as
Yeah.
well.
What's your instinct?
My instinct is wall mount fold away. And I don't know, because I like the idea of there being integrated landmines
Yep.
and like each station kind of having everything that they need, right?
Sure.
Aside from like there's a dumbbell rack for the room, there's a kettlebell rack for the room, right? But at my station, I have an Encore, I have a rack, I have a barbell, I have clips in my self-sustaining little lift containment unit.
Yep.
Whereas that's less possible at a rig.
Yes.
And it's much harder to like, hey, I've assigned you here.
Right.
And from a class and space management perspective, it gets a little trickier.
Yeah. I've decided I want to do shuttle runs for a warm-up thing. Oh, how are we going to fit around
How
this?
are we going to do
Yeah.
that? Right. But I like that it's a possibility.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, totally.
So we'll see. As I'm thinking about it right now, the space as it stands, you walk in and there's this pretty big wall in front of you. They had TVs mounted, which I'm sure was like, hey, here's the workout of the day or a tip or a quote or scrolling, whatever. I don't want that. I'm just going to take
People
those
just think
down.
they should have TVs and monitors in places also.
Nah. And put in like a reception desk, a point of sale, maybe some merchandise hung up. I would like the lockers and a bench to change your shoes up front, so that you don't have to walk all the way back and through to do that, particularly because we live in Ohio and salt is a thing.
Yep.
But then you turn around the corner and there are two pretty big spaces, like call it maybe 20 by 17.
Okay. Yeah.
Partitioned by a half wall, right?
Oh, cool.
Way taller than you.
Okay.
But they're two like equal size spaces. They both have their own lighting and airflow, like kind of semi-connected. And so what I'm chewing on mentally, if this space ends up being the one that works out, is initially probably only investing in 2 full setups and putting them on one wall with then on the opposite wall, that's where our cardio is.
Sure.
And then setting up the front, sort of call it group fitness room, as almost like a living room. Like, hey, come in, kick it, hang out, like a casual meeting, education, shoot the shit space.
Totally. Yeah.
Right. And then as need calls for it, as demand increases and hey, I need more space for people to train, or as we hire, or as people potentially sublet, like all of these things are on the table. I'm thinking about putting in 2 more stations in that back space, and then the front space, having that be where all of the free weights, cardio,
Sure.
kettlebells, etc. go. So in the one space, we've got a little more open. Maybe that's where boxes, bikes, dumbbells, kettlebells, etc. equipment lives. And then over here, we've got 4 racks, barbells, plates, anchors. And so then potentially in theory, right, imagine 2 people to a station because you're going to need to rest
Yep.
in class. I could be running in tandem 2 classes with some creative programming.
Yeah, 100%.
So, like, that's kind of where my head goes as I'm thinking about setting up the space.
I think that's really smart, and it lets you kind of metaphorically nail some stuff down, like put big heavy things in places,
Right,
but still leaves you with a little bit of work, but the ability to change it all at a moment's notice. Like,
right,
oh, it is. I thought this was the best idea, and over the past 3 weeks, it has become obvious that kettlebells being over there is stupid and annoying, and I hate it.
right,
Therefore, kettlebells have to move. Therefore, these other 3 things have to move. But we found a slightly better. We are on to version 1.0.3, and this is going to work
right,
a little bit better.
right. Or potentially, like, in the call it cardio free weight space, maybe the anchors are mounted on the wall on a sliding track there instead of on the rig itself.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah. It can move all over the
so,
place. I remember a conversation I had with the gym owner who wanted to change the rig setup in the gym.
mm-hmm,
And we had radically changed the layout of the space maybe 18 months before,
mm-hmm,
including not unwall mounting a lot of the rig and putting it in the center of the room. And because I was sort of the handyman of the group, I got put in charge of making sure that worked. And because of the kind of handyman I am, I used 9-inch concrete bolts to
of
sink
course.
things all the way in. I bought a bazooka of a hammer drill. And because we're going to have 15 people at a time kipping
Right.
on this thing,
This
it,
needs to be secure.
it needs to really hold.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And fast forward 18 months, and the owner expressed that they wanted to change some things. They saw some logistical challenges. It was really a problem. I wish we had thought of this ahead of time. I can understand that, but now, so why don't we change it?
Yeah.
And he looked at me like I had 3 heads. He said, "We just did that whole project and bolted everything to the ground." I promise you, I said, the drill goes the other direction too, right? We can just pull it up, especially because I had insisted, I jumped up and down about mounting the rig on top of the rubber floor. Part of the reason I
Yeah.
had 9-inch bolts is because we were going through 3.5 inches of gym floor rubber mat
Right.
to get to the concrete. But when you pull the bolt out, the rubber just closes and it looks like nothing was ever there. It's magical.
Right.
Like, it's
Right.
heavy, like taking all the bolts out and taking the rig apart, and moving
Right.
it somewhere else and measuring, and like,
It's a full day thing.
we have to do that all again, but it's super
Right.
possible.
Right.
We are not trapped here. See, again, like,
Mm-hmm.
there, if you have a plan, we can execute on that plan,
Right.
or you can just paddle around in circles saying "woe is me," which isn't very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Ted's going to be very excited whenever I do get the space because he's wanted a hammer drill forever. And he's going to be like, finally,
And like,
finally.
so Ted will like this. This next segment is only for Ted. So we had this plan. I found these long concrete, I think they were 9-inch concrete bolts, concrete screws. I went to the local hardware store because I love my local hardware store.
Mm-hmm.
Said, I need the biggest hammer drill you have. He said, "What are you doing?" And I explained, "Great." And he gave me, a DeWalt top of the line hammer drill. I
Right.
was back within 20 minutes with a melted hammer drill. And I handed it to him, and his eyes got wide. He said, "What did you do?" I said, "I tried to hammer drill through a lot of concrete." He said, but this is a DeWalt hammer drill." I know. "Do you have
I know.
anything bigger?" He said, "No, but I know where you can get it." And he sent me to another shop, and I think it's a Milwaukee. Like, the case is this big. It looks like a rifle case.
Right.
You got to plug it in. You need a 20 amp breaker, but it goes through everything. Like,
Anything.
since then, I was like, "Oh, I wish I could mount something on my brick house." Oh, that would have been 20 minutes, and I would have gone through 4 bits before with the other drill. That took seconds. It's just so much torque and so much power. It's
Mhm.
great. So yeah,
Mhm.
like we were talking about with Rogue fitness gear, like the big overbuilt thing that actually has enough power and does the thing you want it to do.
Right.
It's often actually the right option. I
Right.
strongly feel that way about tools. I don't need super specialty stuff, but like, the difference, having the right tool makes such a big difference in the situation.
Totally.
God forbid you need to drill, 64 holes through concrete. when the first one takes 25 minutes,
Nope.
my response was, no. We need a bazooka. I need something
No.
insanely powerful because this is a terrible way to spend my time.
Right. I need something that has a Hemi attached.
Yeah, I want a pull start. I need diesel fuel. Yeah, exactly. I want to have to register it with the DMV.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I look
Good
forward
times.
to sharing with him that the possibility of hammer drill is upon us.
Not only do you maybe need a hammer drill, but you might need an amazing hammer drill.
Don't tell him that.
Worth it.
I could then put it on the business card though.
Legit business expense.
Legit business expense. Allie, if you're listening to this, legit business expense.
Cool for the thing. The only reason you're buying it is to do business upgrades. And honestly, you'd probably keep it there because the most logical place is, the next place I'm probably going to drill a giant concrete hole is here. And if I need to bring it home, I can. But yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have a small tool collection on site for all that stuff.
I guess that's true. I hadn't thought about that.
Yep. You're going to have all that stuff.
I am not particularly handy, and it might surprise you to hear that I am not the most patient or unreactionary when things don't go exactly as I would like them to go.
That is not surprising at all. Yeah. I can, and I've had experiences with people like that too, where my answer is like, "Hey, if you leave me with the tools and go away for an hour, I can do this." I bet everyone will have a better time.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to really enjoy figuring this out for the next 45 minutes, and you're going to have an awful time. But I also think I don't want you watching me and asking about it. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I don't like if there's something that I am particularly enjoying or very proficient at, and there's somebody who is either not enjoying it or not proficient at it, please leave me alone.
Yeah.
Please be anywhere else on earth.
Yeah. What are you doing? The other day, I forget what it was. Rebecca was trying to untie a knot in something or unwrap something. Like I had given it to her. She was going to open it, unwrap it, do something with it, and then I was going to go do something else. I don't remember what the situation was, but something like that. And I handed it to her. She was fucking like, this is annoying. It's really stop looming. Go away. I'll tell you when it's done. Okay. I didn't mean to loom. I was just sort of standing there, but I was standing, 3 feet away waiting for you to finish a task.
This is a non-loitering zone, sir.
Yeah. But see, like earlier discussion of, I want some time to like figure it out and make some mistakes and do it the wrong way. Like,
right. Dip
my toes in here. No. Oh, there it is. Okay. I found the way. Great. Now I know how to do it. Now I can show you how to execute it. But I don't really want you to watch the creative process all the time.
Sure. I get that. I relate to that. Well, this has been a treat.
This great.
This feels like a good place to like put a pin in it.
Yeah. I would like to know from people, if you've made it this far, first of all, God bless you. And second of all, if you like this format or if you have, because I could see this being like do another shoot the shit or doing like Q&As. People send, that kind of stuff, like sending your questions, sending your topics, sending like things you want, especially stuff that maybe doesn't call for, a full 45-minute breakdown in an episode like we do with some of these topics, but the kind of thing where we can answer and give our opinions on. I'm totally down to do all of that. Totally. Yeah. There's no script. No. The first 30 minutes of this was pretty tightly scripted, but then we got away and just started yes-anding like fiends. We went off the rails. Yes. Like, look, a tributary. Where does it go? It is. How do we get here? Where are we going? Is this upstream? No idea. It feels upstream. No idea. I think we went meaningful places. Yeah. No, I agree. That was great. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you all for tuning in. If you're still here, all 2 of you that are still listening at this point in the episode, I'm Weezy Shoemaker, joined as always by Justin McClintock. This has been Training Partners. We will see you next time. Thanks, team. Here come your training partners, so smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners. We're ready to shine.